Welcome to Cherishing Life, where we celebrate an educational podcast/radio show that reflects the mission and the work of Hospice of the Calumet Area. We have a lot of inspiring stories of volunteers, patients, families, our staff, supporters of Hospice of the Calumet Area, and we're glad to share them. And our guest today is very exciting. It's an amazing opportunity to have Anthony, her son, and Tondra. Tondra, why don't you introduce yourself?
My name is Tondra Patton, founder of Workplace Wellness by Tondra.
Okay. And Anthony?
My name's Anthony Patton. I'm a certified NASM instructor with Workplace Wellness.
Okay. So, Tondra, tell them a little bit how we met.
We met at the annual health fair where I was giving my 5-minute workplace resets. And the 5-minute workplace reset are moves that you can do with limited space in a chair, at your desk, in your bed. It's just movement that you can do in your body to do a reset as opposed to just kind of sitting there.
So they called it chair yoga. Tell us what that is.
It's chair yoga, but it's more than that. It's mobility movement. It's a derivative of chair yoga. I'm a certified yoga teacher, but it's mobility movements. I myself am almost 1 year out of hip replacement, and these are mobility movements that I picked up from my physical therapy with recovering from that, and with a little bit of yoga involved in it, and just some moves that you can do from just a training aspect, but in a chair.
How did you get involved with yoga?
For 20 years, I worked as a operator where I sat for long hours, 12 hours. And when I turned 50, I was like, you know what? I'm sitting there, a lot of back pain, a lot of low back pain and hip pain. Lots of call-offs, too, with that. I knew something was wrong. That's when I went to the doctor, found out I got degenerative, hips. So it was like, let me move out of this and move into wellness. But I left there, and my first thing was to get certified in yoga. So that's what I did. It was like, I want to get into something that I can do when I'm 80, when I'm 90. If I'm still here, I want to be able to still move my body. Okay. So that was the first thing that I went into. Yeah.
All right. Anthony, how about you? How'd you get involved?
So she's been having this idea for how long at this point? Like 2-3 years?
Yes.
And it was starting off with her in her yoga teacher training.
Okay.
She did great in that. She was a bit nervous with that, but she got herself through it. And ever since then, she was working at Anytime Fitness as a manager, right? And the whole thing was she wanted to promote wellness to people, and she had ideas, so she decided to use those ideas. I just got involved because we eventually want to move into personal training and group training as well.
Okay.
And
in the workplace.
Yeah, she thought that I would be a good match for that.
Yes.
Now, I feel like over the last decade, wellness has really become at the forefront of people's thoughts and minds. Talk about that a little bit.
I believe it has. Like I stated, I walked away from a 6-figure job, right? And with wellness being that priority, it was like I need to take the money is great, right? But my wellness, that's what I need with me at that 80 or 90. So wellness is a priority. Managing a fitness facility, what I found was people will come in and sign up, but I spend a lot of time trying to get them to come in there and use that membership, right? And the same story, different ways of telling it. I don't have enough time. So they walked in with the intentions of, taking advantage of wellness, but jobs, family, life kicks in and you don't make that time for it. That's where the concept of workplace wellness came up for me, because even as a fitness facility manager, I was sitting for 8 hours, 10 hours. I was like, wow, I'm back in the same game. I am bringing other people to wellness, but I'm sitting here for 8 to 10 hours, not remembering to move my body. And life is now that I'm back working 8, plus or more hours, I'm falling into that same story. Family life, I'm work life, I'm not working out. I then did I led one of our managers meetings, and I did chair yoga. Everyone was praising me about it, and it was like, wait a minute. people need this at work.
Right.
So when I did it for us, managers of wellness, it was like, whoa, how many other people, my members that weren't showing up, how they would need this at their workplace. So that's where this concept came up for me.
Wow, that's fascinating. It's easy to think about, if you're at work and you're working on a project or you're entrenched in something, to sit there 2-3 hours without getting up, unless
Yes.
you have to use the restroom, right?
Exactly.
But this breaks up that day a little bit.
It does. It definitely gets in there and breaks it up. And people will say, like when we were at that health fair, they're like, I don't have any pain, right? Or, but then when you go through the mobility movements, you're like, wow, I feel more open there. Or I didn't realize how tight I was, because this vehicle that we're living in, that's taking us through this life, we don't really give it that much attention. We don't stop for a second. We're focusing on everything else. And this little 5-minute reset makes you stop for a second and really connect to that mind body.
Okay.
So just kind of going within and just listening to the body for that brief minute, and saying those brief 5 minutes, saying, where do I feel tight, and where can this little bit of movement like open me up and loosen me up a little bit and give you more energy and more focus at that point.
The funny thing is, I took my son and his best friend to a New York Yankee White Sox game, and they're young and they always get autographs because they love that part of it. But I told them, I said, ask these players questions about, how they prepare and what they do. That's going to make you stand out. Don't just say, hey, can I have an autograph? And I said, this is a really good opportunity. And they saw Garrett Cole, one of their ace baseball players, and they asked him, how do you prepare for the game? He said, who asked me that? And they raised their hand. He said, come on up here.
Yeah.
He goes, that's a great question. He says, listen, he goes, I look at their lineup. He goes, I go do my breathing techniques, and then I go punch them out. He goes, those are the 3 things. And I thought that was fascinating, the breathing techniques.
Yeah.
That is so important, because, maybe 15 years ago, that wouldn't be even a
thing, right. I do know that, like, even with this, I had to take a couple of breaths, get a little nervous, right?
Right.
But just,
It's human nature.
Yeah, breath can actually regulate your nervous system. And then movement with the breath. So these movements that you can do, and just put your inhales and exhales with those, making them a little bit slower, can actually relax the nervous system and relax the body. So yeah, our breathing techniques can definitely help you. It can help you, it can energize you and relax you.
Right. Yeah, it's really fascinating, because just those breathing techniques, and maybe taking a moment of reflection before you're in a meeting that's going to be tumultuous or long, and just putting yourself in that mindset to go in there and have some success and have a great conversation and have some good dialogue in those meetings. This can be a world of a difference.
It definitely can. Yes.
So can you show us some chair yoga or some things?
You know what?
I know a lot of these folks are on the radio, but you can watch our podcast on WJOB, JED TV, also Hospice of the Calumet Area. We're going to share this on our Facebook and our Instagram pages, and so make sure you take a look.
Yeah, and these are movements that you can do with the limited space that we're dealing with, right?
Okay.
So we have this table here. You don't necessarily have to have a table, but we can utilize this table by even scooting back a little. Like, let's say we're tight in the shoulders.
Okay.
Here's like one little move where you can just take a deep inhale. You're bending over, inhale, looking up, and then exhaling, just dropping your head down in between your shoulders and just getting that like shoulder stretch release. Now, in this, we were talking about the breath. This is where you can just like, inhale up, exhale, just kind of sinking a little bit more into this, and just ways where you can just calm down and reset, at that desk by yourself. But that's usually how I start off, where we will open up the shoulders, starting with a little breath with movement. But we can also, do you want to go through the 5-minute reset right now with us?
Sure, why not?
Okay,
Yeah.
So we're going to start like with some neck rotation. So here we're going to start with the left ear. And I always start on my left side because that left hip was the one that had to get replaced. But we're going to let's just kind of sit up straight. Like, let's do a couple of like shoulder rolls where we're going to go up and back so we can like extend the spine. So let's take a deep breath in. And then exhale, let's drop our left ear over to our left shoulder, feeling that stretch down the right side of our shoulder or our neck. Then take a deep inhale, rolling our chin over our chest, over to the right side, feeling that stretch on the opposite side. And then taking a deep inhale, exhale, rolling over to the left side. And then doing this just for a couple of breaths at your own breath. Even when I'm guiding a group, we are not doing synchronized breathing. Everybody breathes and moves at their own pace. So you're breathing with this movement and just feeling how this feels in your body. I'm hearing my neck pop here and there. It started out popping a little bit when I first started, but now it's like loosening up a little bit. But you're going to make these moves with us, Eddie?
Oh, sure.
So now we're going to do some shoulder rolls. So let's inhale up, and then let's do a couple back. Okay. So I want you to feel loose in your body, too. You're sitting here with us. So inhale up, exhale back. Inhale up, exhale back. And again, you're doing this at your pace. You can even like soften your gaze. But we're just waking up our shoulders. And then when we stop, let's do like 2 or 3 forward where we inhale up and then roll those shoulders forward. And again, I do like that we have this limited space. This like shows how we can just do a little bit of movement. So let's scoot away from the table because we don't want to like hit our hands on it. But like, and you can still face me because you have your space. Okay. But like we inhale, reach our arms up. And then exhale, lean back, extending our spine, doing a little back bend, seated. And then exhale, bringing our hands back down. Let's do that one more time. Inhale up. Let's lean back into this. And then exhale, bringing our hands down. And now we're going to do some seated twists with this. So inhale, reach up. And then exhale, let's go to that left side. I always go to the left. We're doing the seated twist, feeling that low back. Trying to look to the side of us or look to the back of us. And on our inhales and exhales here, we're just, every exhale, we're trying to look to the back of the room, just deepening that stretch. On that exhale, we're going to release that. Look back toward the front of the room. Inhale, reaching those arms up. Exhale, coming down, twisting to the opposite side, looking to the side of us. And then just remembering the breath. On the exhales, you just try to look toward the back of the room to deepen that twist. So this is a seated twist, something you can do to pop that lower back. And just listening to the body while you're breathing and making these moves. On your exhale, you're releasing that and facing the front of the room. And now let's just kind of get some lower body movement. So we have armrests on our chairs, but you don't necessarily have those. But like you're just sitting here waking up the thighs and the legs. Just seat stepping, like doing a little march right here. And then from here, a lot of women, we will tend to cross our legs. My orthopedic doctor told me that was part of the hip replacement issue, that we should sit with this number 4. So let's extend our left leg out. I always start with that left. We can point, flex our toes, and make some ankle circles in one direction and then in the other. And then we're going to create the number 4 with our leg. This is easier on the hips, sitting like this, making that number 4, feeling that stretch in that hip. And then taking a deep inhale and then exhale, just kind of leaning over. Really feeling that hip open up a little bit more. You can press down on that knee if you want, but respect your body. If it's saying that it's tight, just respect where it is. This is that mind-body connection, just really listening to the body. On that exhale, releasing that, coming back up. Let's extend that leg, point, flex it, make some circles, dropping it down. And let's do that right leg. Point, flex, circling, and then making that number 4. And then feeling how this hip feels. I always say that there's 2 different people inside of here because one side of the body feels totally different from the other. And it's just listening to that. A lot of people aren't even aware of that because we don't really pay attention to our bodies a lot. We're so busy. Take a deep inhale and then exhale, leaning over into this. So here I have a little bit of tightness in my lower back. My hip is a little tighter on this side, but I'm just softly stretching, breathing with this stretch, observing the body, and just releasing tension in the body. On that exhale, reaching back up. And you can do this a couple of times with this number 4, but then extending that leg, pointing, flexing, making circles, and then bringing that foot down. Now here, we want to definitely make sure we have space. When we bend over, we don't want to bump our heads on our table if there's a table in front of us. But we're going to widen our legs to the width of our chairs. And we want to, if we're rolling, you need to be up against the wall because you don't want to roll out of your seat.
Okay.
But inhale, reaching up, extending the spine, and then exhale, folding down the middle of our body, bringing our hands to the top of our feet. Our ankles are the floor. This is a hip opener, and we're also doing this seated forward fold where we're feeling like this in our lower back, or just observing where we are feeling it in our back. Everybody feels things differently. And now let's bring our right hand to the ground, or you can keep it on the top of your right foot. But we're going to take our left arm and reach it up to the ceiling. So we're doing a fold, but we're twisted with this. So we're inhaling up, and then exhaling, we're bringing the hand back down. And then we're switching and going to the opposite side. Reaching that right arm up, inhaling up, and then exhaling, coming down. And then let's just do it one more time. Inhale up on the left side, exhale down. Inhale up on the right side, exhale down. And now from here, we really want to ground down in our feet, because we're going to actually do some modified squats where we're lifting our butts up. If you have a table in front of you, you can use that table, or you can ground down with your hands on top of your feet. But inhale, you're going to reach your bottoms up to the ceiling. And then exhale, bringing it back down, feeling that stretch down the back of the legs. Inhale, reaching it up. Exhale, coming back down. Inhale, reaching it up. Now you're standing in this forward fold. You have a slight bend in both knees. And then inhale, you're going to slowly roll all the way up to standing. So it's a way to get up out of that chair. You're kind of standing up. Let's inhale, reach up. And then exhale, let's go back into a slight back bend. Inhale, reach up. And then exhale, let's reach over to the left side. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, let's go over to the right side. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, bring those hands down. So we just kind of went up and down the body, moving it.
You can feel that stretch though, right?
You can feel it, yeah. It's like waking up that body as opposed to sitting there all day. And like I said, we don't even think to do it though. I was a yoga teacher and sat there, and I would then start to set alarms on my phone. Move your body, get up and move your body. But we'll focus on all the other tasks and projects that are in front of us, as opposed to focusing on ourselves and addressing that issue. We're real quick to go to aspirin or Midol or things for inflammation, but we can just do 5 minutes worth of movement, and that'll actually help us.
So that's a good point. So the inflammation, those kind of things, by just stretching things out,
moving that, moving the body around, right? Just not just sitting there and letting it sit around in that hip, because that's what I did. I sat there with those crossed legs for 20 years and just letting that inflammation build up, not circulating. That's the word I was looking for. Just getting up and moving, getting the blood circulating. So yeah, and
that's so important. I mean, for diabetes, all those kind of things, usually struggle with circulation.
Yes. And even your point you had brought up earlier, you're right. Just in dealing with patients that are dealing with hospice, that, they get massages just to circulate stuff in the body. But these are movements that you can do, circulation, oxygen and blood and everything, to kind of help with that buildup of inflammation in the body.
Okay. That's awesome. Yeah, this is really, really cool. Just because people don't think about these kind of things. And I know our caregivers at our home, they are really taking care of their family members and their loved ones. And this is something they can, just to remind them, take care of yourself and do some exercises and stretch. Some of them might be going to the gym and can't do that because they're taking care of loved ones at home.
Right.
But they can still find a way to
take care of themselves. It's that airplane rule, right? Your face mask goes on first before you can help anybody else. Okay. Right? So you have to do that. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, and I would even tell people, and I get the caregiving. My daughter is autistic, so I understand that. Not only do I have children, my college student here, and then an autistic child, but it's I've got to take care of me first, because mommy lost her hip, right? And it's use it or lose it, because at that point, then I was the person that needed care. So you definitely have to stop, pay attention to yourself, and take care of your body first to help everybody else that you need. Because if not, it's that use it or lose it. This body is given to us, and we're traveling in this life. We have to respect it and just stop and pay attention to it. Okay. Because when it's not working, we know it then, right? So, Yeah.
Yeah, and there's a lot of things that you can do proactively to help yourself, and I know a lot of people, they start working out when they need to, but if you do it beforehand, it's just
Right, and
won't
these
help
are simple moves that you can start out doing, right?
Right.
You don't have to what we bring to the workplace, you don't have to make that time after work to get to that gym. We will come to you.
Okay.
You see this limited space that we're in now. It doesn't take a lot. When we were at Bourbonnais Library, we were doing their in-service before their meeting, and we all know how sometimes boring and mundane meetings can be, right? But bringing this into, the meeting before it starts, it gets everybody kind of mentally focused. It's better than coffee.
Okay.
It gets everybody alert, focused, and moved. Feeling refreshed in their bodies. You don't need like a lot of space either. But we bring it to the workplace, and there's not a lot of effort here. We make it very simple and easy for you.
Okay, really cool. Anthony, tell us a little bit about yourself. What do you love about doing these kind of things with your mom?
So, when it comes to my side of it, and I need to get better with it, but I'm eventually going to be teaching these same moves as well.
Okay.
But I'm also going to be running people through quick little group training sessions. Now, those ones you might need a bit more space than chair yoga because I'm going to have you actually doing a few workouts.
Okay.
But
So you're going to have something for everybody, really.
We do. We have an account where the owner has a couple of soccer coaches, and he wanted his soccer coaches to be trained. So, but they are so busy, especially like with the soccer, coming up. We are going to bring this fitness to them. So this is more. I'm definitely focused on the office because that's what I've done, but we can fit like several different needs with this. Yeah.
And it's so different because when I was playing sports growing up, you just played basketball or baseball. You weren't really focused on the physical part of it. Now these younger people are being trained and they're thinking about their health, eating right, sleeping right, physical exercise, getting stronger, getting bigger, bigger athletes, stronger athletes.
Yes.
It's really kind of neat because ultimately it's going to help them in the long run.
Exactly. Yes.
They do it right, not cut corners.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah.
Yes.
So what sports did you play, Anthony?
So my biggest thing was tennis.
Yes.
Okay.
I got into that when I was in like 6th grade.
Okay.
And actually before that, there's a funny story that when I was still like in a walker, my dad would take me to the tennis courts and he would just practice his serve, and I would just giggle and clap each time I saw him hit the ball.
Oh, that's cool.
So in 6th grade, I got into tennis and I played that all the way up until I graduated. Outside of that, I swam for 2 years. I swam in
They said swimming is probably one of the sports that you use muscles that you didn't even think you had.
And then cardio too, the intensity of that. Oh my goodness. It was a lot.
They were not lying when they said that. Before I joined swim for 10th grade, I underestimated it. I didn't think it was all that. And then I got into it, and that was a season. I'll say that. I did wrestling the year after that.
Okay.
And then for my last year of high school, I went back to swimming one last time. But those were the sports that I played, and
I'm going to say the most expensive one was the black belt that was earned from. Because that involved a lot of years and a lot of money to get him to that. So
I was in karate at Home Karate Dojo.
Okay.
What I got from all those was the importance of exercise. I mean,
and discipline, I
Right.
think. Yeah, definitely.
with me nowadays, it's like I only have 2 rest days per week. It's like a bit of a problem for me if I'm not exercising, so it sort of ties into the workplace wellness thing of you need to move your body a lot since you have it for so
And a
long.
couple, so he's an honor student at Purdue Northwest, and a couple of his friends came over to the house. He's now leading workout sessions for them because these college kids aren't moving either.
Right.
So he's bringing awareness to his like fellow students. So I do love that. I love that workplace wellness. We can really like bring awareness to several different communities.
Right.
So yeah, it's like when the kids came over, I was like, well, yeah, bring them over here, free like workouts, because we know they don't have a lot of money, right?
Right.
But free workouts, and I'll even give them lunch, so just helping them, and like we're getting feedback from them that is helping them with their studies and making them more alert. So movement is very important.
It's very important, especially nowadays, because it's no big deal for some of these kids to be behind the video games for 4 or 5 hours.
Exactly.
And
And then these are cybersecurity, so they're definitely in front of their. So yeah, I definitely wanted him to outreach with them, and we that was my bartering. I was like, free food if they come over here and move their bodies.
Right.
So yeah.
Well, even the soft skills like communication, with training people and meeting people where they're at, talking to them, learning their story, sharing your story. Those are all very important things as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate you guys spending time with us and talking about yoga and chair yoga and health and nutrition.
Mobility.
And, mobility.
In the workplace, yeah.
We look forward to, we're going to share some of your stuff and where they can find you and how we can probably work together. We talked about a couple things, but I think there's endless possibilities to get.
It is, and I love that you brought that to my attention, the hospice factor. Yes, that's definitely meaningful work for those caregivers and for the patients themselves. So definitely, yes, it's an aspect that workplace wellness can definitely address and help. So definitely.
For sure. I would love to partner with you guys, and, education is the key to life.
Yeah.
We're always learning something. We should always be learning something.
Yes.
Because it's evolving and constantly things that you can do to impact others. So we appreciate your time, and we appreciate you guys for listening and maybe watching us later on if you on the road. And I don't want you to try the yoga right now, but when you get home, watch the video and see if you can keep up.
Yeah, and you can go to workplacewellness.com because we have a couple of little exercises that we have uploaded on there.
Okay. And anybody that needs hospice care needs or questions, Hospice of the Calumet Area, hospicecalumet.org. Follow us on all of our social media platforms. We are on them. And 219-922-2732 is our phone number. Anybody that has questions about hospice or our palliative group, please give us a call, and we would love to help you out and sit down with you and walk you through our journey.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys. Appreciate it, Anthony, Tandra. Thank you for your time.
having us.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, until next time, enjoy and keep cherishing life.
It's gold rush time at Albert's. Oh, looky here! Oh, those are gonna fetch a pretty penny.
Who's gonna buy 'em from us?